So you have, if you don't have what they need, they're gonna leave.
Right.
Got to keep them there.
Right.
You need locks on the doors.
Okay, this is sounding kind of dangerous now.
On the night of September 16th, 2024, the music mogul Sean P. Diddy Combs found himself in a situation he likely never imagined, locked behind bars at the Park Hyatt Hotel in New York City. This wasn't just another arrest in a string of controversies tied to celebrities, but rather a seismic shift in the public's understanding of a figure who had long been considered untouchable. This arrest followed months of investigation, with a grand jury ultimately bringing serious charges against Diddy, marking a major turning point in a case that had previously been shrouded in secrecy. The case against Diddy had its origins earlier in 2024 when federal agents raided his opulent fancy mansion, uncovering startling evidence that led to a string of accusations against the mogul. Initially, many dismissed the charges as just another example of a powerful figure being targeted, assuming that Diddy's extensive influence within the music business would quickly quell any such allegations. After all, Diddy's power within the entertainment industry was immense. He was a key figure not only in music production, but also in fashion, television, and various other ventures. However, as more women came forward with disturbing claims, and as the investigation deepened, what initially seemed like a single case of sexual abuse gradually unraveled into a much larger, far more sinister story. What once appeared to be isolated incidents of exploitation turned out to be a network of manipulation, coercion, and violence. Federal authorities, after receiving numerous accounts of abuse, expanded the case into a sweeping criminal investigation involving charges of trafficking, racketeering, and conspiracy. Even more serious crimes, kidnapping, bribery, arson, forced labor, and obstruction of justice, were uncovered beneath the surface, painting a picture of a man with a dark history of exploitation. The beginning of the legal battle. The shocking arrest came at the height of public curiosity. For years, rumors about Diddy's conduct had circulated, but it was not until 2023 that the allegations broke into the mainstream. Cassie Ventura, the singer, actress, and former girlfriend of Diddy, was among the first to publicly confront the mogul. Her decision to file a lawsuit was an unprecedented move, given the power and influence Diddy held over much of the entertainment industry. Cassie's courageous action acted as a catalyst for others to come forward with their own harrowing stories, contributing to the growing sense that Diddy's empire was built on an ugly foundation of abuse and coercion. It's important to understand the context of this development. Diddy, over the course of decades, had become more than just a music executive. His influence transcended the entertainment world. He was a global brand, a symbol of success, and an icon in the Black community. His public persona was carefully curated, with a focus on entrepreneurship, self-made wealth, and a larger-than-life character. However, as the legal proceedings progressed, that persona began to crumble under the weight of the allegations against him. The industry, once loyal to him, started to turn its back, with many in Hollywood and beyond grappling with the reality that the man they had revered might not be the person they thought he was. The expansion of the allegations. What began as a case about alleged sexual misconduct soon morphed into something far darker. Multiple women came forward with stories that ranged from sexual assault to physical abuse, with disturbing accounts detailing the lengths to which Diddy allegedly went to maintain control over them. However, the case didn't stop there. As investigators dug deeper, it became clear that Diddy's actions extended far beyond just abusing women. Under the guise of his celebrity and wealth, he was alleged to have trafficked individuals, orchestrated forced labor, and even committed acts of arson to silence his critics. Federal agents overseeing the investigation, including Homeland Security Special Agent William S. Walker, were quick to emphasize the gravity of the charges. Walker, speaking publicly about the case, stated that this investigation represented a critical moment for the justice system. "We are here today," Walker said, "because of the incredible strength of the victims and witnesses who have already endured unimaginable suffering." His words painted a stark picture of the case. This was no longer just a personal scandal, but a criminal operation that had allegedly been running under the public radar for over 15 years. The defense, a question of race and power. Diddy's defense team, led by prominent attorney Mark Agnifilo, quickly mounted a vigorous campaign to counter the accusations. Agnifilo's defense strategy centered on one key argument: that Diddy's legal troubles were rooted in an ongoing campaign to bring down a successful black businessman. Agnifilo's rhetoric mirrored arguments that had been employed by other high-profile figures, particularly within the entertainment industry, who faced accusations of misconduct. Specifically, Agnifilo compared Diddy's case to that of R. Kelly, the disgraced R&B singer convicted of sex trafficking. In both cases, defenders argued that race and success were factors that played a role in the charges levied against them. Agnifilo further posited that the government had been unable to find any concrete evidence linking Diddy to criminal wrongdoing in his professional life. Instead, authorities began focusing on his personal life, casting a shadow over his private interactions. The lawyer claimed that this shift in focus was indicative of an unfair campaign to destroy Diddy's reputation, rather than an objective pursuit of justice. Agnifilo went on to say that the accusations of sexual abuse were exaggerated, framing them as nothing more than consenting adult behavior, activities that had been labeled as freak-offs in modern parlance, but were simply exaggerated versions of private encounters that had occurred in past decades without scandal. Despite this narrative, the nature of the allegations was far more troubling. The detailed lawsuits from victims like Cassie Ventura and Lil Rod painted a very different picture, one of intimidation, drug use, and forced participation in sexual acts. The credibility of these claims was bolstered by evidence such as text messages, phone calls, and medical reports. Many of the women involved reported being manipulated into taking drugs, including ecstasy, during their encounters with Diddy, which led to their exploitation when they were in an altered state. These acts, they alleged, were not consensual, as they had little choice but to comply due to Diddy's influence and the circumstances they found themselves in. Cassie Ventura's lawsuit, a deeper dive into abuse. Cassie Ventura's lawsuit, perhaps the most high-profile of the cases against Diddy, provided some of the most chilling details about Diddy's alleged behavior. According to her account, their relationship began under highly troubling circumstances. Cassie claimed that she was invited to a yacht party, only to find herself in an isolated location in the middle of the ocean, surrounded by men. Diddy allegedly gave her drugs, knowing that she would be at his mercy while under their influence. What followed, Cassie claims, was a weekend of manipulation and sexual exploitation. She was allegedly coerced into participating in sexual acts with male prostitutes, and Diddy filmed these encounters without her consent. This behavior, Cassie stated, was a regular occurrence during their relationship. Even after the fact, Diddy is said to have used the footage as a tool of control, showing Cassie the recordings to remind her of his power over her. This disturbing pattern continued for years, with Cassie stating that she had to seek medical treatment multiple times due to the extreme physical toll these encounters took on her body. Cassie's testimony was backed by other individuals, including Lil Rod, who shared similar accounts of being coerced into engaging in sexual activities while under the influence of drugs. These overlapping stories were crucial in building the case against Diddy, as they provided corroboration for the claims of abuse and manipulation. The legal strategy: denial and counterclaims. As the case progressed, Diddy's legal team continued to deny all allegations, with Agnifilo working tirelessly to dismantle the narrative put forth by the prosecution. One of his main strategies was to question the reliability of the victims' testimonies. Agnifilo suggested that because some of the women involved had used drugs during their encounters with Diddy, their accounts were unreliable and compromised. He painted these women as consenting adults who had engaged in behavior that was, in his view, consensual and should not be viewed as criminal. However, this defense faltered when faced with the overwhelming evidence presented by the prosecution, including medical records and testimonies from other witnesses who had witnessed or been involved in the events. Furthermore, the nature of the abuse described, physical violence, emotional manipulation, and the forced use of drugs, was inconsistent with the defense's portrayal of the events as consensual encounters. The trial soon became a battle of narratives. On one side, Diddy's defense team attempted to frame the case as a personal vendetta, fueled by jealousy, misunderstandings, and the desire to attack a successful black man. On the other side, the prosecution presented a starkly different picture, one of systemic abuse, where Diddy used his power to manipulate and exploit vulnerable individuals. The impact on Diddy's career and reputation. As the case gained traction in the media, the public's perception of Diddy began to shift. The once admired mogul, known for his vast wealth and influence, was now seen in a darker light. The fallout from the allegations began to take its toll, not only on his public image, but also on his business empire. Reputable brands such as Ciroc Vodka and the Sean John clothing line, which had been closely associated with Diddy, began to feel the sting of public disapproval. Consumer backlash mounted, with many questioning their support for a man who was now linked to such grave accusations. Revolt TV, Diddy's media network, also faced mounting pressure. As one of the few black-owned media companies in the industry, Revolt had been seen as a platform for diversity and inclusivity. However, the growing controversy surrounding Diddy made it increasingly difficult for the network to maintain its credibility. The question now was whether Revolt could survive the scandal, or whether it too would become collateral damage in the wake of Diddy's downfall. The road ahead, a long and uncertain journey. As the case against Diddy continues to unfold, it is clear that the legal and public challenges are far from over. His defense team remains determined to fight the charges, but the evidence against him is mounting. His trial, scheduled to begin in 2025, promises to be one of the most high-profile legal battles in recent memory. For Diddy, the stakes could not be higher. If convicted, the consequences for him personally and professionally could be devastating. His reputation, once built on success and respect, now faces the very real possibility of being destroyed by the truth behind these shocking allegations. In the broader context, the Diddy case serves as a reminder of the deeper, systemic issues that have long plagued Hollywood and the entertainment industry at large. The culture of silence, power, and complicity that has allowed figures like Diddy to operate without accountability is being called into question. The outcome of this case will have far-reaching implications for how the entertainment industry handles accusations of abuse in the future. As the trial looms, the question remains: will Diddy's empire crumble, or will his defense succeed in salvaging his career? The answer will likely shape the future of the entertainment world, setting a precedent for how powerful figures are held accountable for their actions, regardless of their status or influence. Diddy's legal battle, the impending consequences of allegations. In recent months, the music mogul Diddy, also known as Sean Combs, has found himself at the center of a highly publicized legal battle that could endanger both his career and his freedom. Accusations ranging from racketeering and trafficking to kidnapping, arson, and even manipulation have surfaced, painting a picture of a man whose public persona as a successful entrepreneur and philanthropist is now overshadowed by a dark web of criminal activities. The case has captured the attention of not just fans, but also legal experts, as it holds significant potential to bring down one of the most powerful figures in the entertainment industry. As the trial approaches, the stakes have grown even higher. Diddy has consistently maintained his innocence, but the severity of the charges against him cannot be ignored. Should he be found guilty, the music mogul could face years, if not decades, in prison. For someone whose life has been dedicated to building an empire of wealth and influence, the consequences of a conviction would be devastating. Not only would he lose his freedom, but his legacy could be forever tarnished. The Gag Order Controversy and the quest for fairness in Diddy's trial. The legal proceedings leading up to Diddy's trial have been marked by controversy, with key moments creating tensions between the court, the media, and those involved in the case. One such moment occurred when Diddy's legal team, in an effort to protect the integrity of the trial, requested a gag order. This request aimed to restrict any public dissemination of information that could influence the jury, attorneys, or the public's perception of the case. However, after a prolonged back and forth over the specifics of such an order, Judge Submanian ultimately rejected the request. Despite this, the judge still issued a ruling designed to ensure that the trial proceeded in a fair and unbiased manner. The ruling stated that no more information should be leaked to the public, acknowledging the potential damage that media leaks could do to the fairness of the trial. Public leaks have the ability to sway public opinion and may make it harder for a jury to remain impartial when making its decision. Furthermore, the judge emphasized the importance of all parties involved, lawyers, prosecutors, and the jury, being cautious with their words, particularly when discussing the case outside of the courtroom. The judge did not find enough clear evidence to suggest that federal agents were directly responsible for the leaks, but it was clear that the judge wanted to avoid any possibility of bias. After all, a fair trial depends on maintaining secrecy, protecting key evidence, and ensuring that justice is served for all victims involved. While Diddy's legal team is focused on securing a fair trial for their client, the public nature of the case has only fueled increasing speculation about the musician's future. Despite his repeated denials, many are now questioning whether he will be able to overcome the avalanche of allegations he faces. The charges against Diddy, a dark picture of his life and career. The criminal charges leveled against Diddy paint a deeply troubling portrait of his life beyond the glitz and glamour of the music industry. The accusations range from racketeering, trafficking, and kidnapping to arson and fraud. What's more, the allegations suggest that Diddy may have leveraged his position of power and influence within the music world to manipulate and control individuals around him, especially those who were in vulnerable positions. These claims are both numerous and serious, and they reflect a stark contrast to the public image Diddy has carefully cultivated over the years. One of the most significant charges against him is racketeering. Racketeering, which typically involves illegal activities carried out as part of a criminal enterprise, has been tied to Diddy's management of his record label. One of the most prominent lawsuits involved Lil Rod, a producer who claims that Diddy invited him to his home to work on an album. After months of hard work, however, Lil Rod was never compensated for his efforts. Worse still, it is alleged that Diddy pressured Lil Rod into a compromising situation, promising him a Grammy-winning career if he complied. Similarly, Diddy has been accused of coercion and manipulation in his relationships with former partner Cassie. According to reports, Diddy allegedly threatened to destroy Cassie's career if she left him. These actions suggest a pattern of controlling behavior, where Diddy used his immense power in the music industry to intimidate and exploit those closest to him. But the accusations don't stop there. Diddy is also facing charges of arson, including one particularly disturbing incident where he allegedly orchestrated the explosion of Kid Cudi's car. If proven true, this charge could carry a punishment of up to 20 years in prison. Even more chilling, Diddy has been accused of involvement in trafficking minors, a crime that could add another 20 years to his sentence. Taken together, the sheer volume and severity of these charges paint a dark and deeply troubling picture of Diddy's life. While he has spent decades building a powerful empire, these new allegations suggest that he may have been hiding a much darker side, one that, if proven true, could leave him facing the longest prison sentences of his life. The possible sentencing and what it means for Diddy's future. The potential punishment Diddy could face, if convicted on all charges, is nothing short of catastrophic. The charges he faces, which include racketeering, trafficking, kidnapping, and arson, are among the most serious crimes in the federal criminal code. If Diddy is found guilty, he could face a staggering prison sentence. In fact, the combined penalties for these charges could amount to nearly 60 years in prison, or even a life sentence. For someone like Diddy, whose career has been defined by his entrepreneurial success and public persona, the prospect of spending decades behind bars is a harsh and sobering reality. But the legal ramifications go far beyond prison time. A conviction would likely signal the end of his career, especially in the music industry, where public perception is everything. Diddy has spent years carefully crafting an image as one of the most influential figures in the entertainment world, but a guilty verdict could irreparably damage that reputation. Legal experts believe that Diddy's case is strong enough to lead to a conviction, especially considering the federal prosecutor's track record in cases like this. The prosecution is expected to present an array of solid evidence, including victim testimonies, surveillance footage, and digital records, all of which could be difficult for Diddy to refute. If these pieces of evidence paint a convincing picture of Diddy's involvement in the alleged crimes, it could lead to a guilty verdict and a lengthy prison sentence. The seriousness of the charges also means that the minimum sentence for some of the most severe crimes, such as trafficking, is 15 years. However, depending on the nature of the alleged offenses, Diddy could face far more time behind bars. Some legal analysts believe that a life sentence may be warranted, particularly if prosecutors can show that Diddy's actions were part of a larger, organized criminal enterprise. The impact on Diddy's public image and career, should Diddy be convicted and sentenced to prison, the repercussions would extend far beyond the legal realm. For someone whose career has spanned decades and whose influence has shaped the music industry, a conviction would likely mark the end of his public career. As one of the wealthiest and most influential figures in hip-hop, Diddy's fall from grace would send shockwaves through the entertainment world. His music empire, which includes not just record labels but also clothing lines, television ventures, and various investments, could crumble as a result of his legal troubles. In addition to his career, Diddy's public image would be permanently tarnished. Over the years, he has cultivated an image as a philanthropist, businessman, and cultural icon. If he is convicted, that carefully crafted image would collapse, and Diddy would be seen not as the influential mogul he once was, but as someone whose power and influence were built on manipulation and exploitation. Moreover, Diddy's legal case could serve as a cautionary tale for others in the entertainment industry. It would send a clear message that those in positions of power, especially in the entertainment and music industries, will be held accountable for their actions. The case would likely spark increased scrutiny of how powerful figures operate behind closed doors, and may lead to a re-evaluation of the ways in which talent is treated in industries that have historically allowed for abuses of power. The role of high-profile figures and conspiracy theories. As the investigation into Diddy's alleged crimes has continued, a new layer of controversy has emerged. The attention surrounding his case has drawn in some of the most high-profile figures in American politics, fueling widespread conspiracy theories and public debate. A viral video emerged in 2024, suggesting that Diddy, Barack Obama, and Kamala Harris were involved in a strange and unsettling ritual. This video quickly gained traction on social media, leading to a frenzy of speculation and wild theories. The video came on the heels of a photograph showing Diddy and Obama together in May 2024, which some claimed was part of a larger cover-up related to Diddy's legal issues. The timing of the photo only fueled further conspiracy theories, as people wondered if there were deeper connections between the famous figures and Diddy's alleged wrongdoings. Though there is no concrete evidence linking Obama to any criminal activity involving Diddy, the photo was enough to spark a wave of conspiracy-driven speculation. In addition, Diddy's previous public show of support for Obama further fanned the flames. Similarly, rumors swirled about Diddy's relationship with Vice President Kamala Harris, with some suggesting that she might be involved in the controversy due to past associations with Diddy. While these theories are largely based on unsubstantiated claims, they have nonetheless played a significant role in the ongoing public discourse surrounding Diddy's case. Whether or not these conspiracy theories hold any weight, the media frenzy around the case has only intensified, making it more difficult to separate fact from fiction in the public's eyes. The future of Diddy's career and legal struggles. As the legal proceedings unfold, the question of whether Diddy will ever return to the public spotlight remains uncertain. A conviction could very well end his career in its current form, but even if he avoids prison time, the damage to his reputation may be irreparable. His future in the music industry could be in jeopardy, as the allegations against him have already begun to tarnish his image. The public's perception of Diddy, once one of the most respected figures in hip-hop, has shifted drastically. No longer seen as a visionary mogul, Diddy may soon be remembered as a cautionary tale about the dangers of power and influence. How this case will ultimately play out remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: Diddy's legal troubles are far from over, and the consequences, both personal and professional, will be felt for years to come. A turning point in Diddy's life and legacy. Diddy's case is one of the most dramatic and complex legal battles in recent history. The charges against him are not only serious, but far-reaching, touching on every aspect of his life and career. If convicted, the consequences will be profound, not just for Diddy, but for the entertainment industry as a whole. The trial is likely to send a message to other powerful figures, showing that no one is above the law. Whether Diddy will be able to overcome the charges and rebuild his life remains uncertain, but his legal woes have already begun to reshape the narrative of his life's work. As the legal proceedings continue, the public remains captivated by the case, and many are left to wonder if Diddy's career and legacy will be forever altered by the actions that have brought him to this point. Only time will tell what the future holds for Diddy, but the implications of this trial will undoubtedly ripple through the world of entertainment for years to come.